My sensitive, caring, beautifully aware child, Jesus here. Your anxiety has been telling you you're weak, broken, too much, too sensitive. What if I told you it's actually evidence of one of your greatest gifts? What if that thing you've been trying to fix is actually something I want to refine? Tonight, let's discover why your anxious heart might be more like mine than you ever imagined. I need to tell you something that's going to change how you see yourself. That anxiety you've been carrying, that hypervigilance you've been ashamed of, that tendency to worry about everyone and everything, it's not a flaw in your design. It's actually evidence of how much like me you really are. See, you've been told that anxiety is the opposite of faith. You've been told that worry means you don't trust me. You've been told to just give it to God as if your caring heart is somehow defective. But what if I told you that some of the most anxious people in the Bible were the ones I used most powerfully? Think about Nehemiah, so worried about his people that he wept and fasted for days. Think about Paul, so anxious about the churches he planted that he said he carried the daily pressure of concern for all the churches. Think about my own mother, Mary, so anxious about me being missing that she searched frantically for 3 days. Were they faithless? Or were they faithful? Were they broken? Or were they beautifully, intensely aware of what mattered most? Here's what I see when I look at your anxious heart. I see someone who cares so deeply about the people in their life that they feel responsible for their well-being. I see someone so tuned into potential problems that they're trying to solve them before they happen. I see someone whose love is so big it extends beyond themselves to everyone they encounter. That thing you call overthinking? I call it thorough processing. That thing you call being too sensitive? I call it being deeply empathetic. That thing you call anxiety? I call it a heart that cares so much it hurts. But here's where we need to do some refining work together. Your anxiety becomes your superpower when it's directed by my peace instead of driven by fear. Your sensitivity becomes your strength when it's filtered through my wisdom instead of overwhelmed by worry. Think about it, who notices when someone's struggling before anyone else does? The anxious person. Who thinks through all the potential problems in a plan? The anxious person. Who remembers to check on people, to follow up, to make sure everyone's okay? The anxious person. Your anxiety isn't your weakness, it's your early warning system. It's your compassion radar. It's your love language translated into concern. The problem isn't that you care too much, the problem is that you're trying to control too much. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of trying to eliminate your anxiety, we're going to redirect it. Instead of trying to shut down your sensitivity, we're going to sharpen it. Instead of trying to stop caring, we're going to start caring with boundaries. When you feel that familiar anxiety rising about someone you love, instead of spiraling into worst-case scenarios, we're going to turn it into targeted prayer. When you notice potential problems, instead of trying to control every outcome, we're going to turn it into wise preparation. When your heart starts racing about tomorrow, instead of rehearsing disasters, we're going to turn it into hopeful planning. You know what some of the world's greatest protectors, healers, and leaders have in common? They're anxious people who learned how to channel their concern into care, their worry into wisdom, their fear into faithful action. Moses was so anxious about leading Israel he tried to talk me out of choosing him. But that same concern for getting it right made him one of the most careful, thoughtful leaders in history. Jeremiah was so anxious about delivering hard messages that he was called the weeping prophet. But that same tender heart made him exactly the voice his people needed. Even I, when I walked on earth, experienced anxiety. In Gethsemane, I was so anxious about what was coming that I sweat drops of blood. But that anxiety didn't disqualify me from my purpose, it actually prepared me to understand yours. There are people in your life right now who need someone who understands anxiety. There are situations coming where your ability to see potential problems will save the day. There are moments ahead where your sensitive heart will be exactly what someone needs to feel seen, understood, and loved. So tonight, instead of asking me to take away your anxiety, ask me to transform it. Instead of begging me to make you less sensitive, ask me to help you be sensitively strong. Instead of trying to care less, ask me to help you care more wisely. Your anxious heart is not your enemy, it's your ally that just needs better direction. Your worry is not your weakness, it's your strength that needs better boundaries. Your sensitivity is not your flaw, it's your gift that needs better focus. Sleep tonight knowing that your anxious heart is not too much for me. It's not too big, too sensitive, too concerned. It's actually beautifully, perfectly designed to love like I love, deeply, completely, sometimes painfully, but always purposefully. May your anxiety become your superpower, your sensitivity become your strength, and your worried heart become a weapon of love in my hands. You are not broken, you are beautifully, perfectly made to care like I care. Rest in your purpose, warrior of love.